Night Attack is coming to SF Sketchfest. Get tickets and join us Wednesday, January 22nd at the Piano Fight. sfsketchfest.com is where you can find more information about that. Our opening song is called Ain't Talking About Low Bro. It's from Stephen Cogswell. Get it at awtfy.com. That's awtfy.com/ain't.
I've heard the names before. I just don't remember them right now. Listen, I like Van Halen. They're just not... It's back in Pogsport.
Exact. Hello. I would like for you to see this grizzly man. There's a grizzly. If you could come to my trunk, please, I will sell you a man who lives amongst grizzlies. He dies at the end. Please don't walk away.
I'm sorry, you said he dies at the end? If I know how it ends, why would I buy the...
Saying it is about a man. He loves bears, rumbly, tumbly, and I made a movie about the
That's how you game theory, motherfucker. Nothing makes you physically happier.
I know, Gary, you asked me, the announcer, not to interrupt you as you tried to newscast, but seriously, tonight, the News 6.
Fuck you, Justin.
I've lost the thread on this one, huh?
Oh, goddamn, let's launch this thing. Oh, hello, you beautiful bastards, you demon hordes of the internet. Coming to you live from the newly minted Diamond Club Studios deep in the heart of the 7-acre Ashwood, right there on the edge of Austin city limits. You know it's Tuesday night, and that means it has got to be go time for Night Attack. Hello, you beautiful folks. I'm Brian Brushwood, live in Austin, Texas, joined as always by my BFF and OAK. It's J.R.Y. Justin, I got a question for you. Is
what's
that
up, fam?
factually the best song ever written regarding the movie Grizzly Man? And should it be sent to Werner Herzog for his enjoyment?
I would love nothing more than to have any interaction with Werner Herzog. I feel like in our world, he is the Salvador Dali of our age, right? Is there anybody more fascinating and outwardly weird yet obviously very smart than Werner Herzog right now?
I think he's certainly a top contender. Going for the superlative, like best, that one's a tough one. In fact, I would love to hear who is the current day Salvador Dali. My gut says it would be maybe from 10 years ago, Lady Gaga. I don't know. How wacky is Lady Gaga these days?
No, she's like, look, Lady Gaga's, she's more Bowie. She's on the Bowie track, right? Like she is a pop star. She is somebody that's connecting with a mass of people. Dali is somebody for whom the masses came to him. And at some point, we're going to go through a phase where we're going to rewatch all these Werner Herzog documentaries, and we're going to be like, oh my God, there's a new appreciation that has to spring up for this bizarre human who has this Elmer Fudd voice that is just so connected to these weird fringe elements of humanity.
Have you ever, you're a Florida native, have you ever been to the Salvador Dali Museum in, I think it's St. Petersburg, is that right?
It is St. Petersburg, Florida, which also means, I just realized this right now, that there will be many people in the spring of next year, 2020, that will at the same time start their day at the Salvador Dali Museum and end it at WrestleMania, which is in Tampa. So that's
amazing.
That might be the best day of art ever conceived.
Well, and I think I think that Dali would approve of that. One of the biggest things I took away from that experience was, when you think of Salvador Dali's work, I mean, the surrealism and all that, he had an exquisite hand for realistically painting surrealist things. But I remember before going to that museum thinking like, man, some of this stuff is so good. It's almost like photographs. And then I went and did a tour with Bonnie, and we sort of looked at each other. We're like, this is a collage. These are actual photographs. and of course, that would be a very Dali thing to give double middle fingers to like, yeah, motherfucker, it's the 20th century. What you gonna do? Come at me.
Eat it. Well, of course, Bonnie's with us. Bryce is with us, as they always are here for the night attack.
I'm sorry. Hold on. The visual right now for the audio listeners.
Should I set it back?
No. I mean, just all of a sudden, Bryce showed up, and I know a bunch of people have been saying we should enhance Bryce's set in some way. Bryce,
Yeah.
I don't know why you did this, but you didn't need to grab actual elements from the Death Star set of Star Wars,
Right.
A New Hope,
I'm
to
kind
put
of
in the background.
I'm kind of a movie buff. I'm kind of a cinephile.
So you just wanted to sort of have this sinister, about to nuke the podcast at any time
That's right,
moment.
We got a new mixer here, so hopefully we're sounding even nicer than usual. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I just spent the last 5 hours like putting it all together, and it was great. There was no panic. It was all adrenaline.
I would love.
Here's the one thing that definitely needs to happen. We need to get Bryce appropriate headphones, because I am just terrified at the torque on the end of those headphones.
Sure.
They're just regular ass iPhone earbuds.
Well, and people who watch the video show know I have nice sets of headphones. They keep breaking. I keep breaking them.
Okay, hold on.
They won't last.
I have a theory because the internet exists, and if you can imagine it, it's on the internet somewhere. I will bet that there are a pair of functional headphones that look like the side parts of Lobot from Empire Strikes Back, the right-hand man of Lando Calrissian. So if we could get some Lobot headphones for Bryce.
Oh my god.
Those have to exist, right?
It looks like he's just got cassette players taped to,
It
to
really
his ears.
does.
I'm okay with that.
But you know what,
if
Bryce?
you
You're
have
right.
Well, yes, please mail at nightattack.tv. Send us your Alibaba links, because I'm sure that's the only place you can find them.
I don't know. I feel like they look like they were punch card machines that just got ripped off the wall.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
time cards.
Time
It looks like a
cards.
time card. slot.
Hold on. No. Bryce, come on. That is a Disney license now. There are Beats headphones in Lobo style.
Yeah, so I'm sure my Apple earbuds will get me through the day, I think.
I think tonight.
Tonight.
And only tonight. We'll figure it out what happens next.
Here's what I'm excited about, Justin, is that you and I are in all four of us are in, I believe, a really good spot. I mean, obviously, holidays right around the corner. We got Justin about to come down to spend a few days in studio. We're going to bank some stuff. It's always a lot of fun when we're able to be, face to face. I think all three of us, Bryce included, 3 hours ago, weren't necessarily in a place of bliss. We all had a day, as one might say. I know for Bryce, it was the case that it
was a deadline thing. I got here at 4. I knew we had the stream at 8, and it was just trying to decipher this.
No, I mean not only that, but we received the mixer today, and it was
gigantic.
It was bigger than I had expected, and there was like a pleasant exchange where I'm just like, "Hey," over text, "Hey Bryce, the mixer came. It's big." And then Bryce was like, "Yeah, no, I'd been bracing for that. I'm sure we could deal with it." And then Bryce calls. He's like, "Hey man, I'm at Goodwill, and I know it's bigger."
Because I thought, there's not a lot of furniture here. Maybe we need a thing to put it on just for the day. We can get you can get a big filing cabinet for like $10, whatever.
Yeah, and he's saying filing cabinet, and I'm trying to imagine the biggest filing cabinet I can imagine. And I'm like, no. And I was like, and he goes, well, how big should it be? I'm like, You know the size of the entire desk that everything runs on right now? Another one of those, please.
It truly is like 80% of the desk I'm doing all the computer stuff from.
But I think.
It's like, hey, you ever seen those like girls that lay down and they put sushi on top of them?
Yeah.
We're gonna need like one with the length of like the tallest lady running in the island scenes in Wonder Woman. Like we need the one who's like helmet ends before the other lady's nearest head fucking ends.
You know what's funny is that's literally what I said. And then Bryce said, but where could we possibly find such a creature? And I said, Amazon.com. See what I did there? Come on. Landed that.
And I
landed
clapped.
that. Come
Everyone
on.
in the Goodwill started clapping and saluting. So that was me. A little stress, a little adrenaline, a little time crunch, but whatever.
Meanwhile, this morning, so over the weekend, I guess Sunday we had 2 shoots of Modern Rogue episodes. We had like the build part and then a break, and then we were going to do some stuff before the sun went down to test the build. And in between, we're just going to squeeze in a little thing called the quarterly meeting that everyone joins in on. And, by the way, I guess we're very, very late this quarter, so there's an awful lot to get caught up on. And then, so it's already a very, very big day. And then running the numbers.
Way, I was there for the last one, the last quarterly meeting. Was that the one at Torchy's?
Torchy's, yeah.
That was it.
Which was odd because it started as just me and Brian drinking. And then a quarterly meeting happened. All of a sudden other friends of mine started showing up to other tables. And it's like, oh, okay. I guess
this is happening now. Yeah. Well, so we had a lot to do and it was already a big day. And then Bonnie is looking at the calendar and she's like, if we're going to do this Christmas card video, it's going to have to be tomorrow, Sunday morning. And I'm like, well, how early? And she's like, well, how long do you think it'll take? I'm like, maybe an hour. She's like, great. We're going to block out from 9 until 12 because we're dealing with children and there are children. And so we made decorations. In fact, I wonder if you can call it up for the video watchers, Bryce. We can sort of talk through it. But it's a bit of a thing to direct children. Bit of a bigger thing when they're your children. Bit of a bigger thing when the mother of the children talent that you're trying to direct, you're hoping to get to have sex with ever again. So there's a lot of restrictions. And so we ended up doing that. And so today was the day that I was like, man, if I'm going to edit this Christmas card video, which turned out great, by the way. If you haven't seen the video, it's the first 30 seconds is stop motion animation of the kids with elves in a village. And then all of a sudden a dragon shows up. You're like, why is the dragon there? And the dragon is crunching down one of the gingerbread houses. And then Bonnie has the genius idea to put one of the elves in his mouth. And then it ends with this amazing shot of this dragon. There's like an elf trying to wrangle it down, battle it. Another one is just burst into tears, crying. And the other one's mangled and eaten alive.
And this is your Halloween dragon from last month, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's in every holiday dragon, as the neighborhood is about to find out.
Hold on, because can I reveal the conversation that was happening in your house the last time I was there?
Yes, by all means.
Penny was getting into an online argument about whether or not a certain illustration was a dragon or a worm,
Correct.
like WYRM.
Very
Like
important.
this is a very dragon. There was at least 1/5 of that household that is very dragon focused at this particular moment in time.
Yes, absolutely. And was it her idea? How did the idea come about?
It was like a group collaborative. Like you're like, oh yeah, that dragon, because it was mostly like you saying the dragon had to be out on the holiday stuff, and then
It's gonna be okay. And here's the game: is we're gonna keep taking it out, and then he's gonna show up with like a Happy New Year sash on him,
Yeah.
and then he'll go away, and then he'll come back with like eating hearts on Valentine's, and then he'll be holding what terrible stereotypes? He'll be holding a green beer with a bowler hat and a shamrock on him. And
Sure. Now let me ask you this, and by you I mean Bonnie.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys feel, being the OGs of that development, which is only getting more and more valuable as more and more things start to spring up around it?
Right.
How long do you feel you guys in this fairly tightly controlled neighborhood, do you, the OGs, get to stretch the boundaries with this gaudy ass
I am not going to lie.
track?
I feel more empowered than ever.
Yeah.
I feel like the only people who are the old guard that can be rattled or riled up in this neighborhood, MFers, I worked your Christmas party 5 years ago. You got free shows. You got the best. I led the trick-or-treating. I led the caroling. Like, I have so much invested. Like, I'm sorry, newbie, with your first daughter who just moved in at the age of 32. I'm sorry. Are you offended by the fact that we're celebrating the birth of Christ by showing a dragon eating a fucking elf? Well, then get in line, because you got a ways to go before you rile up the rest of this neighborhood.
Because there is a very, very thin line between a beloved tradition for which all of the neighborhood enjoys, and you need to take that down immediately. It's bringing down the property values.
Right. Well, now I don't know if they're going to be crazy about Baby New Year, but I'm out there and I'm setting up more lights because, that's what we need is like more lights. On this
because
crazy-
you need up lights so that you can see the full context of the story. You can't really see the elf that has been torn in half by the jaws of the dragon unless we have set up additional lights.
I mean, this is true. And I did. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I said it so that the little legs get light and then the mouth is, anyways, it's ridiculous.
No,
And so,
that's great. Although you have just done the South Park thing, because South Park always, in all of their feature films, knowing that they had to go to the MPAA, put in the things that they know they're going to use as their compromises later. So putting in full carnage, like blood and guts now, is the easy give back to keeping a gigantic smoke-breathing dragon out on your lawn 365 days a year. Because, by the way, if you survive Christmas, it's there forever.
right. I know. I kind of.
Because no one is going to get their nuts twisted about Arbor Day. Like this is the one thing that people are going to get pissed off about.
Right. So so I'm setting this up, and this car drives past, stops, waits for another car to go around it, and then she backs up real slow, and she goes, "I love it. I love it." She says, "I love your 6 sense of humor. Bye."
But then, okay, so at this point, Bonnie's she's feeling good, but she's waiting for the hammer to fall. And by the way, the night before, I had the same thing. I was sitting there, I was about to go outside, and I saw a flashlight just hovering around our place, and I sort of decided that was a good time to go get something out of my car so I could find out what the hell was going on. And I walked out, and she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was taking a picture of your decorations." And I'm like, "Yeah?" She's just like, "It's so unconventional."
I swear to God, there is some elements of that like Texas neighborhood life that is almost one for one like a CIA thriller. Like there is like, it's all cloak and dagger. You never know who your real enemy is. People are taking pictures when they're not supposed to. Like it is all just this like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy kind of stuff happening in the hill country of Austin, Texas.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for that hammer to drop, and then this another woman comes up, and these are people I've never met before. So like, it's enough people changing over that I'm like, oh, fresh faces and stuff. And this woman is coming along and walking her dog, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, she's definitely older. I go, if there's going to be somebody to complain.
You're ready for that grandma rage.
Yeah.
She walks up and she says, could you move your scooter? Like somebody's car door might hit it.
So I'm just waiting for it.
Last night attack. Get the pre-show before anybody else. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and then she says, can I take a picture? My grandson loves dragons.
I mean, I think you guys might be threading the needle on this one. This one might work.
It seems to be, which is a bit wild considering we're showing the complete evisceration of an elven village where there are 3 elves. One is dead and being mid-eaten by a dragon. One is heroically using Christmas lights to try to strangle him down. The third one is lost in a pit of despair with its hands over its eyes, weeping silently. It seems
that is true. That is true. However, counterpoint, be it a tiny tot or a God-fearing granny, dragons are the tits.
Right? So, but
I mean, maybe that just is the dopest shit ever, and everyone's just like, "Oh my God, have you seen this? I know it's Jesus' birthday, but there's a fucking dragon over here."
So the nicest thing that the grandmother said was thank you for bringing the joy.
Oh no, you guys have this. In fact,
I
feel like you need to be taking down everybody's name for when the eventual HOA, because there will be one lemon. Some old bitch is gonna be 11, and she's gonna roll in and fucking try to put the kibosh on it. But you know that you are the people's dragon. You have the people's dragon out there, and they are enjoying what you have to say.
Goddamn right, man. Hey, as real quick announcements, I want to ask you how everything's going with Raise the Dead real quick. But do you mind if I, just because I would be remiss with our community if we didn't show off that the Monorail got a thing. We got a golden colored plaque. Yes, no, it is interesting because we got one of the, with Scam School, we got one of the original designs that's coated in actual 24 karat gold. This one's golden, which is also good.
Yeah. YouTube's a very popular website, Brian.
Also, we got this advertisement for, would you like to order more? Who wants to buy these at high margins?
No, that is amazing. And as we've talked about, really for the show has obviously spanned from before the beginning of Mono Rogue, but you guys have put so much effort into it, and I would encourage everybody to at least go to your Twitter @Ashwood to see some of the shit that you guys have cooking, where you're shooting fucking flaming arrows into your pit. Like, that shit is fucking awesome.
Yeah, man, that was what's funny is this is all on Saturday. I did 3 hours of working with the kids to set up that stuff and shoot all that. We went and did 2 hours of the build stuff of Mono Rogue, then 3 hours or 2.5 hours of the quarterly meeting, and there's like 15 stupid minutes of time left before we lose all of our daylight. And so we just run out, and it's like, we just got to prove that flaming arrows work. So we take these arrows, I dip them in pork fat, and then we Jason hits them with a blowtorch, and then we're like, we have no idea if they're going to snuff out mid-flight or what. Then we run down to the sacrifice pit, we pour a bunch of gasoline like I'm trying to commit an arson from the movies over there. I fire one, it overshoots. I fire another one, it undershoots and breaks the arrow. And then on the third one, I exactly get lucky, and it lands in the sacrifice pit, and you get to see.
It is so cool when you see it go up.
So good.
The entire pit
good.
immediately. That was great.
I was terrified.
It was amazing.
It's lit. In fact, by the way, Bryce, do me a favor. Can you go to a friend of the show, Cargill's Twitter? Bring it. Bring the screen down. Just go to Cargill's Twitter. When you find it, just read his commentary on the video that Brian just described, because it is awesome. And let me just say this about the Mono Rogue. You guys are killing it. You guys have never been more at the top of your game, and everybody should continue to go, because that's the cool thing about being a million sub channel, is that you just continue to get some of that shine. Bryce, can you please read
Sure.
Cargill's
In your
commentary?
best Cargill voice.
All right. No, this is C. Robert. It's been a while since I've heard Cargill. So this is
Just do Rick from Rick and Morty.
well, that's even harder. I have the dumbest fucking friends. I'm sorry. 18 retweets. Look at that.
Oh.
So good. So good. Thank you to everybody for the launch of Raise the Dead. It has been awesome. I found out today, because I was checking some of the sites that I had submitted for tracking, that apparently we were a top 10 full stop podcast in the Apple Store in Croatia.
Whoa.
That's fucking great.
Popping off.
Yeah.
We are popping off in Croatia. Croatia was really into Raise the Dead.
Goddamn right. And so we were talking today where it's like, man, you're entering the hard part, because it's easy to bang the drum when you know you're about to release a thing. It is so hard to bang the drum for attention after it's out and you don't have a strong sense that the whole world appreciates it yet, or even has enough of it in its hands to know whether or not they can appreciate it. They literally only have the first of 6 chapters in their hand. So it's like if you're J.K. Rowling, you can't go around and start strutting just on the Sorcerer's Stone, because let's face it, that whole book was garbage. But like, you got to wait until the whole story comes out.
Well, or at least enough that it is bingeable, right? That people can listen to an hour and then listen to another hour and then listen to another hour. And that's kind of what's happened today. There's been a bunch of people that I like and respect that were like, for the first time today, we're like, oh my God, I listened to the second episode, and the second episode's still good. Thank you. That's great. But yeah, no, it's tough, because for me, I'm at the end. And for everybody else, they're at the beginning. So it's like kind of hard to match energy. It was easy to match energy when I was at the end of a thing and I was kind of playing my vitamin C graduation song as everybody else was kind of coming in, and there was like a little simpatico to it. But now, enjoy episode 2. I guess I remember it.
Wait.
This is the part, and this is where I'm going to talk past Justin into the community. This is the part where, as you listen, you're going to know this is good, and there are other communities that you know Justin would be a good match to be a guest on. I pointed out that Justin right now, forgive me if I'm talking out of turn here, Justin, but our friend Nate Staniforth, when his book Here Is Real Magic came out, it did good at first, but in terms of initial sales, but it opened the doors. When Pete Holmes read it and he liked it a lot, he gave the opportunity for Nate to go be on the Pete Holmes podcast. And that led to other influential people listening to it. And before you know it, it's I don't know what names I'm supposed to say, but there may or may not be a Hollywood movie in the works for a book written by a friend of mine. And I think that Raise the Dead is of that same quality threshold, where regardless of it doesn't have the entitled launch that Serial had, where it was able to launch on the #1 podcast feed on the planet, but it is of such an exquisite quality that what it needs is that genuine grassroots momentum. And guess what? Spoiler alert, Justin Robert Young, good guest on a podcast. So if you can think of any podcasts that have guests, and I don't mean your podcast, unless you have an audience bigger than us, then what we're looking to do is expand Justin's signal.
Although I'm willing to do your podcast as well, but also, tell you what, if you are somebody that is a fan of another podcast, certainly replying them, letting them know that this might be something up their alley, and also subreddits. You know, if there is a subreddit for which you think that this would be up their alley, then there is literally no such thing as a bad press for something that I genuinely think is really good. And also Brian has listened to all of it. Like he knows that there's a bunch of stuff. I mean, hell, in this episode that just came out, I didn't realize it until I listened to it last night because I've been putting it together in like the full package. That like, man, I don't think anybody knows that Eleanor Roosevelt hated the Kennedy family and tried to strangle the entire career of John F. Kennedy in the cradle. I don't think anybody knows the kind of stuff that happened in that first primary.
Hold on. Let me get this link. Let me just tweet that hot take out. Sorry.
Eleanor Kennedy is a scrub, is what Justin's saying. Eleanor Kennedy is a scrub.
Eleanor Kennedy.
That's right. And no pigeons. Equally, JFK said no pigeons. So
no pigeons.
Where's episode 2?
Okay. Deep. Jesus Christ.
So
that was the second episode takeaway was Eleanor Roosevelt hated the Kennedys and tried to kill
JFK's campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
TIL.
I mean, she literally had a daily newspaper column that she eventually used to try to like end JFK's entire career before it got started. And here's some shit that I didn't even put in the podcast that I will tell you guys because it's very, very nerdy. They have a letter writing back and forth that eventually goes beyond the personal, and they both start publishing, Eleanor in her column and JFK through the Washington Post. And it ends with Eleanor saying that JFK should understand that people are going to say mean things about him. And when it happens, he should understand that when, and this is the direct quote, when blows rain down upon one, you should turn the other profile. And I say that in the show. What I didn't realize until I was reading other stuff yesterday is that the reason why she used that turn of phrase, which I just thought was old time speak, is because JFK wrote a book called Profiles in Courage. So she was literally diss track shitting on him with the title of his own book that he had written a few years earlier. And that's something that that didn't even go in the podcast. I just heard it fucking yesterday and I couldn't put it in. But they hated each other, and spoiler alert, there's more to come with Eleanor trying to kill the Kennedy campaign.
Hey, question. Does anybody in our shared fan base happen to know if does No Agenda do guests? Do they bring on outside folks?
They don't. And by the way, for the record, I've been trying to wrangle goddamn Dvorak because he hit me up randomly in a DM about a year ago saying that we should go get drinks in Jack London Square and do an interview. And I've been going back and forth with that man for literally the intervening 12 months.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're coming out here, that's been on my list is to get Adam out to give him a tour of the place or whatever. Maybe if we're recording live anyway, maybe we can see if he's interested in chat, either joining us or getting something for them. I don't know. I think they would really.
There's less of a chance that you get your children a contact high if you're out in the.
Hey man, good news. I'm pretty sure it's White Claw as far as the eye can see around here. unlike the guest bedroom in our house, ain't no laws with the claws.
Oh yeah.
But we have the Diet White Claw, so you do have to watch out because we got that podcasters Andrew Heaton. I don't know. When we bought White Claws last time, they were diet and they were shitty in diet. Diet drinks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there's not.
All right, here. I have one thing that I need to do, and it can be quick. But, Bryce, I need you to look up the Savannah 10K butt slapping incident.
Sorry? Butt slapping what?
Incident. Because it's a viral video that I have a little kicker to. But if we can just play the viral video.
Oh, I think I saw a GIF of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who have not seen it, and we will play the audio here, this is just your run-of-the-mill local television show, local news. where a lady is giving her like, bunch of people are out here and they're having a great time running through the streets of Savannah, but somebody wants to be a little cheeky, pun intended, and slap this lady right on the ass.
All right, here we go. This is at Girlzilla posting this video.
No audio, but
so there are people running behind her, making whoa.
Oh.
Whoa, wait.
Did we
she
see
did not. Okay, so she didn't mind when it looks like somebody just sort of.
Oh, that guy in the blue shirt.
Yeah. So this guy in the blue shirt, and he it is undeniable. He comes by and gets 5 fingers on that lady's cheek and just gives a big old slap, and she is not happy about it, and understandably and rightfully so. That is just inappropriate on a million different levels. Get this, the internet undefeated when it comes to finding.
Oh no!
yeah.
Oh no!
That man, the butt slapper,
Frank Stallone.
a youth pastor.
Oh!
And now as this has ballooned into a national story, his new story is, he didn't mean to slap her on the butt. It was just an accidental arm thing that just happened to look like he was Kurt Schilling winding up to fire a fastball.
So what about that shit-eating grin that he had after doing it? Was that
That was a
accidental?
verse spouting grin. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And lo, when God did see that ass, he did spread
By
out.
the way, he is about to drop some V's. I'm very sorry to that lady. I'm very sorry to my wife. I'm very sorry to my children.
I'm very sorry to my church, who I hope will allow me to still have a job.
Well, if you would like to have a blessing put upon you, then
I thought
you
you were going to say, if you would like us to continue having a job.
Wait, do you remember going to the Asylum Street Spankers and then everybody would go up there and get their butt slapped?
Yeah,
Like,
but that was
What?
decidedly consensual.
Yeah,
They
without a
asked
doubt.
for volunteers or what have you.
he once they had this big old paddle, and
What?
then that was like that's how they raised money. Is like they get everybody's attention, and they were like, okay,
Yeah,
and then
the Asylum Street Spankers, who I played some of their music for you. Their whole gimmick, probably don't appreciate that
Yeah.
word. They would play vaudeville style music without the use of demon electricity, which was fantastic in an age where everything was electrified and you could rely on amplification. They broke all the rules by saying there will be no amplification and you are going to shut the fuck up. And you're going to listen to blues era music with the respect as if you're in church. And everybody did. And it was magical and it was amazing. And then they would hit the break and they would find out it's somebody's birthday or whatever. And they would give them spankings with a big old fat whacker.
So if you'd like to do that for us, patreon.com/Night Attack.
Yeah, man. Why don't you give us a one digit, 2-digit donation, 3 digits, just right up our money chute.
I mean, look, we are a prosperity gospel. The more that we make, the more that you give, the more that means that God has indeed blessed us and you, if you continue to follow this path. Patreon.com/Night Attack. Get a pre-show early, post-show early, in a custom RSS feed. Folks, you can't imagine the luxury you'll receive when you become a patreon.com/Night Attack member.
Hells yeah. And of course, if you are a new pledger or you up your pledge, then we will randomly call out one of you guys in a thing we like to call...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Night Attack new Patreon name chant corner hour.
It's an hour of... Oh, man. Oh, man. You know what? I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't know who he is, but I just want to say get ready on the echo. Are we able to do the echo? Do we have an echo on the new thing?
We will have one on the new thing, but why don't you keep setting us up with expectations?
Because I have an echo, so I can do an echo here on my
you know
side.
what? I just realized that I have an echo on this microphone as well. So we all have echoes. So we'll take turns comparing echo. I'm going to turn on my echo here in 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. Francisco de la Cruz. Cruz. Bryce?
Francisco de la Cruz. Why didn't it work for me?
Y'all ready to cruise? All right. Hey, man, there's also a brief moment that we go full on Twitch streamer, and we spend 1 minute telling an unrelated story that happens to have some words that seem to resemble the names of people who are giving us donations. None greater than the king of our hearts, Tom Madonna, the only fan that we've ever had, and the Bit Boss.
I was saying the other day that there ain't no party like an Atatatuma party.
Yeah.
Because an Atatatuma party includes DSA 89.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not what the Jen says. I'm sorry. The Jen, and she quotes from the biblical books of Elexperth. She said, and so doeseth vast anomalies does bedraggle, and forsooth one does insert scoop name.
Facts, fam. And that's why I have the following tattoo of your man Jeff 1 tattooed on my lower back, so I might always remember.
Goddamn right. Thank you to everybody who contributes live via thank you very much, Underlining Shadow. You're so cute. We're live on Twitch. We like it when you contribute on Twitch. We like it when you patron at patreon.com/nightattack.
Patreon.org.
And by the way, your man Jeff 1, the only fan we've ever had. Indeed, he is our
Bit Boss.
Ooh, that worked out good.
Hey, Bryce, do we have a game?
We do have a game. Sorry, everybody. I'm having to look over my shoulder about every 20 seconds as we do two things at once. We have a game.
This.
Yeah, do you want to elaborate on what the whoever is in charge of the social media on this program tweeted out, saying that the game was too horny tonight.
That's right.
For science.
That's right.
And that was not a joke.
It was not a joke, and a real scientist put it together. We got a letter here. I'm going to read this word for word. Hey, Bryce. Inspired by the post-show search for mummy and werewolf porn, patreon.com/nightattack.
Oh, no.
I thought about going.
Wait, hold on, Bonnie. Were you there for that? I was definitely
Almost
searching.
certainly was not.
I was definitely searching for the. We were playing a game of what was more popular: mummy porn, werewolf porn, or vampire porn, and based on the number of videos and on I think it was YouPorn or Pornhub or something.
I've never heard of any of those sites.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know where you'd find that, Brian. I don't know.
Is that a website?
Oh, no, whatever. Lean back on your Sibians, assholes.
Okay.
That's the point
Pretend
of it,
like
yes.
you don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. I mean, like, the only website I go to is Bible.tv.
So I got to put something out there, and I'm
On porn? What?
no,
I was reading.
no.
I'm sorry, guys. Show's over. I got to take my lady. This is a big night. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Sorry, guys. Oh, the night attack on the air shows up. So, no. I had this thought. It was kind of like that, but not porn related. It was like,
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, you never.
I was thinking about what she
There's
means.
a moment in the conversation, Bond.
She was thinking about fucking the mummy, a werewolf, and a vampire at the same time.
No, it's so much
Wait,
worse.
hold on. I know you have a totally unrelated thing. But if you were to imagine right in front of you a werewolf, a mummy, and a vampire, who has the biggest dick?
Oh,
And there is
werewolf.
a
The
correct
werewolf,
answer to
yeah,
this.
right?
Werewolf,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right.
Werewolf. Okay.
But you know,
Unfortunately,
like
it's a red rocket. It's
the
really
mummies is all
embarrassing.
broken off and everything.
But it's wise. It's wise. It knows.
Wise? I think it's just
Experience
brittle. So, anyways, how many deaths per year?
Hold on. I would imagine the mummy just mainly wants to watch, right? He's like the
He's very.
porn.
See, the thing about the mummy knows the value of prostate stimulation.
He's standing there with his fucking crossed arms, and he's just like, "No, please go ahead."
and he just moans. He's just like,
I don't know. I think he's just probably wanting to be like rehydrated. So anything that's wet is probably exciting.
That's right. All the mummies are
Wait,
come
meanwhile, the vampire, he's really into the oral action because he's like, yes, suck on me for a change. What a reversal of my normal for. Normally I do the sucking. Now you do it to me.
Oh, what a tremendous story inflectation.
Okay. Who?
Also, the werewolves want to do it doggy style. All right, and we're done.
All right. Let's get on with the game.
I'm glad we settled that, though. Now we know.
Fuck you guys.
Okay. So, inspired by the post-show search for mummy and werewolf porn, I thought about going through all of the somewhat joke fetishes that people list on FetLife and pulling some for a quiz. For anyone who doesn't know, FetLife is like Facebook for people with fetishes. And that's about it. This game I'm calling I'm Just Joke Inc. And the objective is to guess which fetish in a pair of fetishes has more people listing it on FetLife.com.
So this is a case where people are genuinely trying to connect with other like-minded individuals. So,
Yes.
normally we would, if this was Facebook, we could assume that there's sort of a joke going along with it, like the Naruto Run Area 51 thing.
Yeah.
But in this case,
It's like
there's-
liking a page.
there's very little incentive to go along.
This is like the Naruto Run thing, where like any internet board, there are people that then want to make a joke for people that are already on their wavelength.
Oh,
So
I don't know. I guess maybe I'm misreading the purpose of the board. It seemed to me like this was a genuine trying to find somebody who has your thing.
It is. And there are people that want to make jokes amongst the people that are there listing. I mean, because you get infinite.
We'll see some of this. We'll see some of the spectrum of this
exactly.
in this quiz.
No, all I'm saying is that yes, people are trying to fuck on this website. Yes, people are trying to joke on this website. That's all I'm saying.
And we will be making jokes about this website tonight on Night Attack. So thank you to, and I mentioned that it's science because our friend Tally Zarell made this game, who
right on.
I believe is a
Tally.
neuroscientist of some kind. So thank you, Tally.
She is indeed, and a big salute to Tally as she's a new woman these days.
That's right. So we got a bunch of them. So we'll go here. I'm going to give you an either or, and everybody just give me which one you think has more people listing that on their FetLife, and we'll just go in order. Starting with this one, Brian, we'll start with you. Do you think that there are more people listing cling film or mummification?
Cling
on
film
FetLife?
being what? Saran wrap?
It'd be like a saran wrap type of thing, yeah.
I feel like one's a subcategory of the other.
Cling
But
film
from a
or
branding perspective, cling film is a better phrase than mummy wrapping. So I'm going to go
mummification, specifically.
whatever, mummification. By the way, isn't that what happens whenever a girl gets pregnant? I'm going to go with saran wrap.
What?
She becomes a mummy.
Oh.
No? Come on.
I
You should have
usually like
added
puns.
in England. In England, you would have gotten the big delayed
I
laugh.
thought it was a dad joke on the money.
I just say like
But it's more
in
of a
that
mom joke,
reference
but-
to every girl in London, like that would have been a delayed guffaw.
Okay.
All right,
That's
so
right.
What is your answer, Brian?
I'm going with cling wrap.
You're going to go with cling. All right. Justin, cling film or mummification?
We're going. Wait. What is more?
Which is more?
I mean, yeah, I do think that this is a nomenclature thing, but I'm going to say mummification.
Okay. Any reasoning?
Yes. God damn it. I don't even know if I should say this.
Oh, that means you have to.
No, not because it's personally embarrassing. But I read a article about
For the pictures.
a certain agent in Los Angeles who wound up being in a situation where somebody died during a mummification, and it was referred to as mummification ritual, and it was not a murder because he was able to prove that the person wanted to be in there and things just went wrong.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, on that hilarious note, Bonnie, what's your vote?
Oh.
I mean, you guys were the ones who were like, "Oh, you gotta tell
You
it."
brought it up. All right, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Cling film or mummification?
I'm gonna say cling film because it's in everybody's house, so they just kind of like have it, and then it's probably
Yeah, just go get your saran wrap.
availability.
Turns out cling film is just like movies of people hugging.
Oh,
No,
now
it's
that's a dad joke.
God damn it! Look at him, full of them. All right,
all right. It's cling. It's cling as in like, oh, they do it, and then they're just like, no, never leave me, never leave me.
right.
Don't.
Clingy film. Clingy film.
Clingy film.
All right, the cling film has 11,768, and mummification has 18,903. That's the point for Justin Robert Young.
Oh my gosh, I'm really surprised. I mean, that sounds
Yeah,
elaborate, whatever it is.
Well,
Like-
mummification also, I mean, I don't know. I guess what? The internet wants what it wants. It's fine.
Yeah.
I also feel like that's what we saw in the season finale of Righteous Gemstones.
So does that
I
make you
don't-
think of Laura Croft a little differently?
And like the sensory deprivation chamber.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're talking about the Satanist scene. Got it. Yep. With
Bonnie
the giant big old boner.
Bonnie, did you say that because it sounds like mummy vacation?
Hmm?
Never mind. We are all having 3 different conversations.
fine.
somewhere.
Keep going.
I'm almost caught up with most of these. It's working.
So, yeah, mummification was it. In fact, it's a little bit of a sort of broad category. Justin, we're going to start with you. Which do you think has more, saran wrap mummification or duct tape mummification?
Ooh.
I'm going to go with saran wrap.
I'm going to say
Just
saran.
the surface area. That just seems like a utilitarian issue.
All right, Bonnie, saran wrap mummification or duct tape mummification?
Well, I'm going to flip my opinion. I'm going to say duct tape because it has kind of a violent kind of feel to it. I don't know.
Oh,
Okay,
like you're in bondage, like you've been
Yeah.
captured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantasy stuff. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna go with saran wrap for the same reason that I was wrong the first time. So hopefully I'll be wrong twice.
All right. Duct tape mummification has 450, and saran wrap mummification has 3 times as much, 1,457. That's a point for Brian and Justin.
Yeah.
Clearly, you guys know a lot more about this topic
No.
than I do.
We will not discuss shaming on this podcast.
That's right. This is just a game
Hey,
called
when
I'm Just
I'm winning.
Joking.
Now, if I stop winning, I will immediately start blasting.
In more ways than one. All right. Round 3. Bonnie, we're going to start with you. These are a little longer. Your first option
Okay.
is growl means I'm protecting you in werewolf. All right, that's option A. Or
Okay.
option B, werewolf play. Growl means I'm protecting you in werewolf or werewolf play.
Oh, okay. So it's like a terminology, And then like
It's kind of the jokey thing that we were talking, because growl
Yeah.
means I'm protecting you, and werewolf is like a takeoff of the roar means I love you in dinosaur.
oh, oh.
So it's a
oh.
So these are the titles of subforums or categories.
Yes.
these are these are like the keywords people would tag on their profile. Yeah.
Huh.
So one more time, growl means I'm protecting you in werewolf or werewolf play. Bonnie, we're starting with you.
I think werewolf play.
Say werewolf play.
God, that seems so obvious. It makes so much sense, but I'm tempted to think this is a trap. So
Gamifying it. Are you?
yeah. Old game theory Brushwood.
You don't want your
is-
werewolf trapped?
I
You might
mean, werewolf
growl.
play seems. You know what? I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna say werewolf play because it's just the other one's so specific and the other one's general.
Okay. Juice, take us home.
I believe it is growl means I'm protecting you in werewolf because this is a role play thing, right? Like you are asking somebody to come and role play a werewolf scenario with you.
You want to
Who would
convey
rather
as
choose?
much of the story with a very specific category.
It's very goofy.
Yeah, the big, I mean, because you're already into the world. If growl means I'm protecting you in werewolf, you've already defined whether or not you're the werewolf or whether or not you're the person who wants to be protected. The other, I don't know if that's big enough, so I'm going to go with the meme.
Yeah, with growl means I'm protecting you in werewolf. All right. Growl means I'm protecting you in werewolf has 602 listings. Werewolf play has 432. Justin took the point.
What?
Oh, shit!
God damn it! Oh, all right.
So do you think there's another one called whine? Like, do werewolves whine? You know,
Sure.
like
When I think part of it is that werewolf play feels broad, but that sounds very much like role playing or acting. But
Whereas
but
this
you
is
could
a
just have
specific
werewolf
scenario. You
themed
want
thing.
somebody who's super loyal, like your dog, but with a human dick. Right.
And it's like goofy. It's goofy. It's
Yeah.
also random.
I mean, and also Goofy's a dog, so if you want to get fucked by Goofy, this is where you go. I get it.
That's right. Oh, yuck.
You like, oh, is that the
No.
wrong hole again?
no, no.
I do everything wrong. I can't make a baby at all.
If people can take time codes just for the next time we play I Said What, this would be really a good episode for it. All right, Brian, we're gonna start with you on this next round.
That's
Yep,
just, by the way, like, no, yeah, the headline is at the moment of insertion. Gosh.
Okay, Brian, we're starting with you here. This is it's almost a little bit of a throwback to when we were talking about it in the after show. Your two options are vampires and not Gucci Gang. Please turn it off. Okay, vampires or goth. Vampires or goth.
I'm going to go vampires because I think there's a lot of fans of vampires that would not admit to being goth. Also, I think goth had a bad rep for being easy to mock in the late 90s. So I'm going to say vampires.
Say vampire. Justin.
Come on, Brian. That's ignorant. Goth never died. Much like the big boy, it has continued to provide great value at a good price. Goth is number one.
All right, Justin says goth is number one.
Counter argument. Goth was so ashamed of the word goth that they all ran to the word emo and swore that they were something different.
No, totally different. Totally different. Emo is different than goth. The music is different at the very, very least, and that's really where those genres are defined. Really, the only difference is that goth came to mainstream prominence in the 90s, fell out of mainstream prominence, but those people that were still into that shit, God damn it, if the fishnets and the black lipstick does not still sell to that demo. Vampires, look, there's a subgenre for it, but it's fantasy. Goth is a lifestyle. I'm still going goth.
Jessica say goth.
God
Bonnie.
damn it.
Vampires or goth.
Okay, I go to the mall. any mall, there's always a hot topic. Goth.
There ain't no blood stores.
Yeah.
I
it's
have
goth.
yet to find AIM negative.
Where would you find a blood store, though?
I believe they're called hospitals.
Okay. Well.
And by the way, we'd like to remind you that you can donate at any time. Save a life today, especially if you have a very specific blood type.
Okay, Brian said vampire. Justin and Bonnie say goth. Vampire has 43,131.
That's a lot.
Goth has 46,946. Point for Justin and Bonnie.
Man, it's almost like I've never been on this site before.
No shaming. No shaming. No shaming.
I get one right.
All right, the current standing, Brian and Bonnie both have 1 point. Justin undefeated, 4 points so far.
A very interesting question from Beef Viper. Has Brian ever had sex?
We will never know.
Man, you take one look at the brows of those 3 kids and tell me I ain't banged at least 3 one-persons.
3 1%. Okay, we're going to start with Justin on this one. Justin, the 2 listings are face farting and chakra energy play.
Wait. What was the first one? Face farting?
Yeah,
Face
it's where you.
farting.
Now I understand it might
It's
sound
kind of hard to
complicated at first,
understand the explanation to take.
but
Oh, no. Now I get it. Oh.
wait, now I get it. What was the delay? Which part were you not understanding?
I thought it was blowing raspberries, but that's not it. Is it?
Not quite.
Like
Blowing
that
brown berries.
This is somehow our cleanest episode ever.
Face farting or what?
Or chakra energy play.
Chakra energy play.
Who
All right,
goes
now.
first?
And we're going to start with Justin.
I mean, look, I'm in the prime area here for if anyone's listing chakra energy plays, it is in the Bay Area. But look, there's something primal to the butt. People love weird things happening with the butt. I think people want more face farting than they do chakra energy play.
Just to be fair, I don't want Justin to make the call if he doesn't have the whole picture. Just 100% clear. You said it's chakra, or sorry, it's face farting versus chakra, not sharkra.
Yeah, I believe it is not sharkra.
It's
Okay.
So you are not very energetically, which I imagine with at least jazz hands, if not a full routine, sharding into somebody's play.
Man, I'm just crushing it on the dad jokes.
Are
I'm
you
sorry.
sure?
Go ahead, Bonnie. What's your guess?
I think it's the chakra because it's tied to the tantric stuff, and there's the whole
God,
tantric
you stole my reasoning.
all yoga
The chakra is the source of tantric
Right.
lovemaking, which is where you edge all day long and
That's a
then
good call.
you
That's a
fucking
good call.
explode.
Well, I wouldn't like to do that. I would like to.
Yeah, so
I
I'm
would like to have
going to
big
go with
comes
chakra as well.
instead of exploding. All right.
Unless seriously, if it's chakra, then that's the one.
I think it is
I mean,
not-
like, Bryce, imagine that, like, 5 hours ago, you just got a big project and you spent the entire day putting it together. And meanwhile, like, your earpods were really tight to the side of this tension building.
You can even see it. It's on the side that's close to the camera, so people can just see how tight my ear pod is. All right. All right. Face farting versus chakra energy play. Face farting. Face farting has 7,582. Chakra energy play has 29,572. 2 points.
Dude, we did it.
Point for
We
Bonnie,
cracked
point
the.
for Brian.
Also, Bonnie and I have been edging for 3 weeks. We're going to explode any minute now. Any minute now.
Just like here.
No way. I'm saving it for the werewolf.
Oh, gotta get the knot.
Wine.
All right. Number 6. Here we go. We're gonna start with Bonnie on this one. Your first one is U.S. Treasury yield curve or social masochism.
U.S. Treasury.
U.S. Treasury yield curve or social masochism.
I don't understand these words. So
Bonnie looks like I just gave her an econ test. She looks like I just asked her to calculate the Dow.
oh my god.
U.S. Treasury yield curve or social masochism.
I'll just go with social masochism.
All right.
Yeah,
social
I think
mechanism.
social masochism, just because I at least understand the appeal of like, hey, master sub relationship, go out and fart loudly in public and send me a Skype video of it, and you know,
Well, you work in YouTube, so
yeah.
Now,
Well, yeah.
now, if I might, I this is social masochism.
Correct. So
Which would-
somebody of their own free will going out and putting themselves in agonizing social situations, I would imagine, is what social masochism is, aka our careers. And so I can understand that. I don't know that I understand the yield curve one.
All right, Justin, take us home. U.S. Treasury yield curve or social masochism.
I would say that the unique element of the U.S. Treasury yield curve.
It's got
Which
curves.
Well, I mean, so here would be my guess as to what it would be,
Mhm.
is that is a thing that is always available, readily understood, and fluctuates, wherever it does. So you could, if you were in some kind of scenario, that would be an effective random number generator to initiate action, right? So I'm going to say that it is the U.S. Treasury yield curve.
Justin's going to say the U.S. Treasury
wait.
yield curve.
All right,
could it be
yeah.
like a robot thingy that like responds to that data?
Maybe.
Well, I mean,
Treasury.gov. Find us on FetLife.
I mean, that would be the idea. Is that all right? Here is the thing that is beyond manipulation, that changes ever so slightly
Mhm.
day per day. That goes a little bit up or a little bit down.
So it's like an anxious findom, right? Where like the entire country is economically under the boot heel of this curve.
No,
Yes.
I feel like what Justin's angling at is that it's a series of side bets where it's like, all right, I'll jerk off in a jar of mayonnaise if the yield curve goes below this number. Otherwise, I'll face fart if it goes above
so
this
just
number.
like a random number generator.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no,
Okay.
It's basically the most fair random number generator that you could think of, or at least that's what I'm betting on.
Well,
As
that's certainly
I
the
bet
way.
on the U.S. Treasury yield curve as something more sexy to horned up folks on FetLife than social masochism, which is very obviously a sexual term.
Justin, you took the words out of their mouths. Truly, of all the random number generators, the fairest is the U.S. Treasury yield curve.
Oh God.
What is?
like beautiful, fairest. It's the
Wait.
fairest of them all.
Wait. What?
Keep it in your pants, Ron Paul.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's look at some of the numbers here. Social masochism has 2.
No.
U.S. Treasury yield curve has 1. Brian and Bonnie get the point.
Oh my god! I don't know. That's crazy.
This is such a good game.
Oh my my god!
All right, hey,
two.
listen. All right.
Maybe it's a new category. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. The current standings: Brian's got 3 points. Bonnie's got 3 points. Justin's got 4 points. This game got very close. Look at that. We got some more here.
Turns out this game is one of the kinks.
Game theory.
But by the way, it would automatically be more popular than the U.S. Treasury yield curve.
I feel so sorry for that one.
Why don't you join them?
Yeah.
You have my permission. If you want to cyber somebody and have sexy talk about the U.S. Treasury yield, all I request is that you keep a log and share it later. You have my full
Yeah,
permission.
you have to do get consent on that though, but
Well, okay.
okay. All right. We're gonna turn the order around of everybody playing. Brian, we're gonna start with you here. Our next, what is this game called again? I'm just joke kink. There we go. Your 2 kinks are math and French language.
Oh, it's got to be French language.
Say it's French language.
I mean, look, I guarantee you, all math is add these numbers up, and it always turns out to be 80,085. like this. Like
80,085.
Yeah. You didn't even have to think about it. You just knew that one.
All right, Bonnie.
Yes.
Since we've turned the order around.
Oh yeah,
Math.
Neil Fleisch. Also, it's various proofs that proves that 8 equals D.
Yeah.
It's another equal in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bonnie, math
Yeah.
or French language?
I would say the Francophiles win. So French language.
Say French. All right, Juice, take us home.
All the chicks took French. It's French language.
All right, there we go. Math on FetLife is sitting at 278 listings. Oh, we'll not do that. 278 listings. French language is at 47.
What?
It was math.
It was math by a long shot.
Wow.
Oh man.
Oh.
Incorrect. Everybody incorrect. on
Oh
that one.
wow.
Wow.
Well, you want to know what? I'll bet you it's probably a forum that has language function at the top, so they're able to search out for people who are speaking French.
Oh, they
already.
don't need the keyword for it. I
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
I
yeah.
see, I see. Well, let's keep it in school here. Bonnie, we'll start with you on this one.
Okay.
Literature or spanking with feminist literature?
Now, this is what they call in economics a fundamental attribution error. In Kahneman's work, Thinking Fast and Slow, he would. This is one of the trick questions they got was like, who is likely to be more blank, a feminist, a banker, or a feminist banker? And people would say a feminist banker, not realizing that both were a subcategory of each. But
No.
this is different. This is names that people go to, so that changes things.
Yeah.
So we're looking at literature or spanking with feminist literature. Bonnie,
I
we're gonna start with you.
I think a
Who,
lot of
who wants to get that Bronte on their bootay?
Oh, I know. For like I don't, and I'm going to take this as an opportunity to say, why do people want to watch TV shows about where women wear all this clothing, like they're wearing?
I agree. Why are they
What are
wearing any clothing? What the fuck?
I mean, because like they're layered down by like 20 layers and they're laced up.
I
and they're
know,
like,
but it's too late. I've seen everything.
it just makes me sweat just looking at that, and I'm just like,
What
oh,
show?
makes
I
me-
couldn't
makes me
imagine what show she's even trying to
Like,
talk about right
it's
now.
so popular. Like all those like oh
Pride
God,
and
anything set
Prejudice,
back
Little
100 years.
Women,
Class
yeah.
period pieces?
Yeah, all those period pieces. Like
yeah,
they
they're
just,
having their
I think,
periods all over the place.
Oh, God. I mean,
And they're
that's
wearing
a
all them
different
clothes.
one.
I agree. They should wear no clothes and not be having their periods.
I'm just saying, I think women like to torture themselves. So I'm going to say being
Torture
spanked
porn. All right, put her
by
down
the
on torture
feminists.
porn.
She's gonna say spank.
They
All right.
long for times when
Longer-
there was no feminism and they want to be spanked by it.
Okay.
So.
Justin,
That's what I think.
literature or spanking with feminist literature?
So I'm gonna guess that both are jokes. The question is then, what is the funnier joke? And if objectively you were to ask what the funnier joke is, it is spanking with feminist literature, which, as everybody knows, sometimes the laughs, sometimes they turn to boners. It is a thing that can progress. So at one point you're like, spanking with feminist literature. Next thing you know, you got a little women hitting your butt.
So Justin is saying spanking.
I'm going to
With
agree
feminist
for the
with
exact
feminist literature.
opposite reason. I think Justin thinks this is all a joke. I think it's because they're serious. If you're hungry and you go to a restaurant and you look up at the fast food menu and there's one item labeled food and another item labeled a double bacon cheeseburger with extra mayonnaise, one is an actual thing. The other is a category of a thing. So I'm not going to say, I'll have 1 unit of food, please. No, I'm going to say I want the double cheeseburger with extra mayo or whatever. Only I would never say that because mayo's
Because you don't like
Satan's
mayonnaise
jizz. But the point is, I think that it is because it is specific is why it, not as a joke, but genuinely attracts more people because it accurately describes what you're going to get in that community.
All right, so everyone's saying spank. Let's see here. Spanking with feminist literature is at 70 listings. Literature is at 263. It's literature.
God damn it.
Really?
Should have listened to Kahneman.
It's our second.
Kahneman and Tversky, you truly did deserve the Nobel Prize.
Because you know what I think it is like if you're into written stuff, if you want to like do, if you just want to do chatting or whatever, that's
Yeah.
versus spanking someone with feminist literature. All right, Justin, we're gonna start with you on this one.
That's a
Isn't that the point of that website, though? Is so you can find somebody who's going to hit you in the ass with some fucking Sylvia Plath?
I mean, I'll tell you what, we got spanked on that question, so you could say we did get spanked by literature.
You could have
This
got
is your
cucked.
thing for this? Is this your, like, defense mechanism for this game? It's just nothing but dad jokes? You're just an Uzi. You're just empty in the clip.
Like goozy. All right, Justin, we're starting with you. The two options are.
I'm trying to evaluate how many of these jokes I would actually tell my children. And whether or not they would remain my children per the state afterwards.
Probably not. Probably not.
Justin, we're starting with you here. Your two options are pegging while playing Super Mario or playing the Super Mario theme on her boobs. Pegging while playing Super Mario or playing the Super Mario theme on her boobs. Boop, 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 boobs.
Boop. 80,085. That's the math thing. Call back and let's go.
I mean, like, imagine how much abuse you have to do to the titty for the pipe sound.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Well, it's like if that's where you
Booby,
plant
booby,
your
booby.
face in between them and go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this
We know a
one-
lot
this
of Super Mario sounds. huh? Don't go for a
This
second.
one's
verse.
tough.
Okay, he's
This
gonna go
one's
second
tough
verse.
because
All right.
I would only imagine that.
But then as you come, you're like.
You went with the star instead of the.
Jizz.
Justin, please. Pegging while playing Super Mario or playing the Super Mario theme on her boobs.
So I would only imagine that pegging while playing the Super Mario is the more popular sex act,
Clear.
but yet one seems a lot easier
Okay,
than the other.
question. Which of the two participants is playing Super Mario during this scenario?
I mean,
I
it's
mean-
a very good question. I mean, probably the
what-
receiver.
Well,
One would imagine that much like Super Mario, it's a two-player game where each gets their turn. But really, the only thing you need is a partner. But I would say that playing Super Mario on her boobs is funnier and simpler, so I'm going to go with that.
You go with boobs. All right. Brian, pegging while playing Super Mario or playing the Super Mario theme on her boobs?
Playing the Super Mario theme on her boobs is so universally, or more universally attractive, I would imagine. It seems to me like every casual frat bro would admit to wanting to do that. Whereas if you're going to go to this community and you've already crossed the threshold into being into pegging, a fairly unconventional sex act, then give yourself the specific. I'm going to go pegging.
Brian's going to go pegging. All right.
You are?
Bonnie.
I'm going to bet that's the more popular.
Okay.
Bonnie, pegging while playing Super Mario or playing the Super Mario theme on her boobs?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Oh, this is great. Captain Fubar asked in the chat, he said, is pegging anything specific or just anal?
Brian, why don't you?
It's anal, but not as you expect it.
Wait,
all of a sudden, we're playing passwords.
You're playing passwords with Bonnie, and she has no idea. You had never heard the term pegging, Bonnie?
No.
She doesn't know.
It was
okay.
It was a term.
You know what? I'm probably better off not knowing. So
Okay.
we'll just do along. So I am going to say
to the
I
explanation of that term, Bonnie says, the princess is in another castle.
No. Pegging is the girl wears the straps on and does the guy.
Well, in some cases.
Peggy.
Generally.
Or wait.
Her name would be Peggy.
or another girl.
Or sure. Okay. Well, but it is specifically anal, isn't it? Otherwise, that's just lesbian sex.
I guess I don't know.
Why
Yeah.
don't we go ahead and explore?
Yeah,
Anyway.
but the question is, are they playing the original Super Mario, Super Mario World, Super Mario Extreme Edition?
I'm going to say pegging.
Bonnie's going to say pegging. All right.
Damn, pegging.
All right. Pegging while playing Super Mario has 15 listings. Playing the Super Mario theme on her boobs has 6.
Oh!
It's pegging.
Pegging. Got him.
All right. A few more here. Oh, what's that?
How popular is this website or this place?
I mean, we know at least 5 people are on there. Wait, I think you said like one of the communities was 42,000 people strong.
Yeah, Goth was 46,000. I think that's one of the bigger ones on the list. I think Tally intentionally got some of the smaller ones, but it is known Khaleesi.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just surprising that it gets so specific like that. You know?
Yeah.
Well, again, I mean,
it's like subreddits.
Like it is like people are tossing any and everything out there. So
Yeah. Well, including stuff like this, Brian, we're going to start with you.
Yep.
Your 2 options are Buddy Holly or Ricky Ricardo.
I think it's got to be Ricky Ricardo, right? Because there's that sort of that dominant, disapproving husband aspect to it. Let me tell you this much.
The ooze on Brian's voice as he described the domineering husband is entering my left ear and is shooting out of the right ear.
I mean, fun fact.
I'm just gonna say that the next time that Brian sets out a line, Bonnie, if you just tell him that you can't be in the show, like it's on.
Like Bonnie has always loved I Love Lucy, and I'm just saying.
Oh my
God!
Lucy.
Who's gonna be the first person to do it? Okay.
Oh my God.
Also, you do get to play Babalu on the titties.
So Brian, you're gonna say Ricky Ricardo?
Goddamn right.
Bonnie.
I gotta double down on that shit.
Bonnie, Buddy Holly or Ricky Ricardo?
Ricky Ricardo.
Bonnie says Ricky Ricardo. All right, Juice.
Man, no one knows fucking Buddy Holly but from Weezer. Fucking Ricky Ricardo's that dude.
All right, everyone says Ricky Ricardo. Buddy Holly has 5 listings. Ricky Ricardo has 4 listings.
No!
It's Buddy Holly.
Seriously?
Get
Buddy Holly.
Get cucked.
Buddy Holly?
Get fucked, Ricky.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we can power through the rest of these. We
So
can
then,
power through
then
these.
you got
seems like
Peggy
like
Sue.
The day
Peggy
that
Sue.
the day the FetLife listing died.
No, but here's the thing: is he's got the sub listing where it's Peggy Sue, Peggy.
Oh, people who want to be pegged
Pegging.
by Buddy Holly
Yeah.
or as
Oh
Buddy
my
Holly.
God, that's actually the joke of the night. He has the sublisting of Peggy Sue. All right, one more to rule them all here, Bryce.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up.
We got the final bonus round battle royale. I'm going to give you 4 categories, and you're all going to tell me which one has the most FetLife listings. Currently, the standings of the game: Brian has 4 points, Justin has 4 points, Bonnie has 4 points. You guys tied it up already.
Legitimately? Not
Yes.
even contrived.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right, so this is going to be for
Pretty pegging Sue.
1,000,000 points. Right, Justin. No, Brian. We're going to start with you.
Okay.
No. Yes, Brian. Will start with you. Whatever.
Yeah, you know, I understand because I'm so good at the game. You want to rob anyone else of the ability. You want to rob me of the ability to game theory or be accused of game theory.
That's right. Your 4 listings on FetLife are Justin Trudeau, Boris Johnson, Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin.
Sorry, who's the second one?
Boris Johnson?
Soon, the current Prime Minister of England.
Oh yeah.
Brian, Justin Trudeau, Boris Johnson, Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin.
So objectively, I mean, of those 4, I mean, there's a decent chance I would have sex with Justin Trudeau, right? So there's one that's objectively superior to the other physiologically and oozing sexuality. Like somebody, even if you disagreed with all of his politics, you would find him just so polite and charming that you might just want to go to dinner and see where
I
things
personally didn't know that you were into black guys, but sure.
goes. Wait, is that a reference to a cultural thing that happened? or-
Fucking blackface, yeah.
That's god damn it. Justin Trudeau admitted that long ago he did a skit in blackface or something.
Oh.
Times. So, Brian?
but I mean,
But.
Donald Trump has the wider fan base in terms of 40% of all of America, which is more people than most of Canada.
The wider
Eat
fanny
shit,
base.
Canada.
Certainly, yeah, it does have the wider fan base.
Fanny base. Wider.
Right.
I like that Bonnie's now just taking Brian's dad jokes and just making them like fucking Andrew Dice Clay level base X rated.
Yeah, I got a wider base for you right here.
Hickory dickory dock. This wider base slid onto my cock.
All right,
So
Brian, I'm gonna need an
here's
answer
the
from
other
everybody.
thing. Whereas Justin Trudeau sort of inspires in many people just sort of like a starry-eyed fanship. I think that there's a number of people that would love to role play both unironically having sex with Trump, but even more people I think want to role play like hate fucking Trump. So I'm gonna go Trump.
Brian's gonna say Donald J. Trump. Justin, let's go with you. Justin
We all
Trudeau.
have to pick different people, right? Because there's 4 of them, and
You can pick. Hey man,
like-
look. If your heart says that the right thing to do is copy what Brian did, then by all means.
No, because I care about a clean narrative, and I have to use the bathroom. So I'm going to say Justin Trudeau.
All right, Justin's gonna say Justin Trudeau. A Justin picking a Justin original. Bonnie.
I'm gonna say Vladimir because of the that
Because
horse
of
picture.
him on the horse.
Him on the horse.
So
and,
all the people who are really wanting to fuck the horse, they're all like, "Yeah, but go back to talking about the horse."
The horse.
like,
I don't care if you have your shirt on or off. Tell me about the horse. All right. Well, let's go over the standings.
Because there actually might be an argument like in the heart of hearts on like who would be more of a sex object, Putin or Trudeau? Because Trudeau's a pretty boy.
Correct.
Like Putin's a weird sociopath.
Right,
And
Yeah.
but also like a scarily powerful one. So if that was your thing, yeah.
Putin's got the like Chuck Norris meme element of people associate him with all those images of him shirtless horsebacking and other sexy things.
Like he is somebody who's cultivated an image of masculinity in a very traditional sense. He's like, I work out, I ride animals, I punch people.
Mm-hmm.
This is me. I'm Vladimir Putin. Where Trudeau's like, hey, I also have read all the favorite books that you read as a girl. Aren't I cool?
That's right.
Yeah, and Putin is in that place where his very apparent middle-aged physique actually plays into the power dynamic that might be found attractive.
I think we all just revealed that we'd kind of bang Putin.
No. We've revealed that all of us would get banged by Putin. I don't think any of us are going to bang him.
Fair point.
I mean, I do feel like we might get to bang Trudeau, though.
Oh no, that.
I feel like he would be a very giving.
By the way,
partner.
while he played Mario.
You mind if I just play some Mario? Alrighty, well, let's go through this. Boris Johnson was in 4th place with 6.
Oh.
With 6. Let's see here. Justin Trudeau with 24. With 31 votes. It's Vladimir Putin, and with 33, Donald J. Trump.
I want to recount.
Brian wins.
Congratulations to Brian Brushwood.
Trump wins the popular vote. Trump wins the popular vote.
Thank you again. Thank you again to Talia Zarell for sending in this game. If you have a game, send it in mail, mail at nightattack.tv. That is where you can send that or emails or just comments. Send me a nice way. Send a compliment. Hey, send a friend a compliment. MAIL at nightattack.tv.
There we go.
Or any Photoshop of Putin. Just whatever you want to put Putin's face on.
Remember that a person has to read it.
Hey, Brian, you want to do a little diamond time?
Oh, man, look, I didn't want to say it, but now that you said it, I mean, I've been kind of itching to do a little bit of diamond for a while. Remind the nice people what diamond time is.
Diamond Time is where you can shout out your project right here on the show. Just head on over to diamondclub.reddit.com or reddit.com/r/diamondclub, and you can find the sticky post at the top of that subreddit. Our first is from Octona Princeps, who says, Mike TV's newest album, Hesitation Cuts, drops in 1 week, December 17th. Mike has spent the last 2 years pouring his heart into this album, and this is a call for Diamond Club to rock them charts. Give this album the love it deserves. 45 tracks. Did you hear me? 45 motherfucking tracks. And by the way, if you're like, I don't know if that's a value, there's a secret track on there. I don't want to spoil it, but you were being an asshole. It's more music than most rock bands released in their lifetime, and it is there for you on December 17th. Set yourself a reminder for 1 week from today to go to iTunes or Amazon and search and buy Hesitation Cuts by Get Set Go. Do it for Mike. Tell you what, I'm in Austin for that, right?
I mean, isn't Mike in Austin?
We need to get that motherfucker in there so we can all be in there. He can play the hot singles from Hesitation Cuts out 1 week from today.
Look, Justin, I really dig your enthusiasm, but the fact is there's only so many microphone inputs that we have. It's not like we have some kind of giant big What?
Bryce, how many inputs do we have?
Probably 32. Probably more, I think, even more
all right,
than 32.
But can we still play Super Mario while they're being used?
We could rig that up, actually.
Okay. We definitely have to get Mike TV out.
This is not an invitation. This is a demand that Mike TV come in next week and play for his new.
Before a thing?
Yeah.
You don't think he might be busy?
Wait, on the day of the release of his thing, yeah, he's going to be busy appearing on the live stream with us, getting all of us to buy his album.
Yeah, we're going to figure out a lot of different booking things off the air.
Man, that makes me think of the next post from Mr. Steamfist, who says, hey guys, now that we've all subscribed to Raise the Dead, we may want something else to do in our time. I actually have a Kickstarter I'm a part of, bit.ly/Dire Multiverse KS. That's Dire Multiverse with capital D, capital M, capital KS. We've hit our goal, yay, and I would love the support of our small cabal. I am not going to spoil too many details about what this is leading up to, so stay tuned. That's www.gamesomniverse.com. No idea what any of that means or what is it? What is it?
I believe that they are. It's a card deck.
Oh, right on.
It's a card game.
Yeah.
And Games Omniverse, I believe, is the company or the group of people who are doing it.
Oh, hells yeah.
Your man Jeff writes, hey, Diamond Club fam, I went through a rough patch last year, and as part of the series of wild events in my recovery, I started photography as a side hobby. I work with cosplay models and bikini models, as those seem to be the things that you guys like to see and support. Swing on over to my Patreon, patreon.com/yourmanjeff. I've been to several conventions and traveled internationally. I hope you like my photos. I'll see you at Katsucon and Level Up Expo in February. Thanks for the buck, F. Rem.
Yeah. Hey, you want to just take a little peek at our mailbags? Oh, no, wait. We should do a movie draft minute.
Let's do a movie draft minute.
Indeed, we should.
Radio.TV for the week of December 9th, 2019. I'm your host, Roberto Villegas. Fun fact about a movie in this draft. Did you know that Playmobil the movie had one of the worst openings for a film released in more than 2,000 theaters? How bad of a release is it? Let's go check the rankings and find out. Brett Roundsville is in 6th place, still waiting for his first film. Shane Josephson is in 5th place with $67 million. Brian Brushwood is in 4th place, $146.3 million. Movie League Mike is in 3rd place, $292.6 million. John Teasdale is in 2nd place with Playmobil, the movie, bringing $656,000, bringing his total to $457.6 million. And in 1st place, $523.5 million. It's Tom Merritt. And that is your movie draft minute for the week of December 9th, 2019.
Justin,
Playmobil, huh?
Justin, I don't consider you to be a petty person, but I do know that if there's one person that could get your goat, it's John Teasdale. Was there a little bit of schadenfreude in the fact that his last movie, his last hope, the last thing that could possibly get him ahead happened to be one of the greatest box office disasters in the history of all movies, full stop?
Wait. Which was his last one?
Playmobil the movie opened to over 2,000 theaters and made $600,000.
Wait, hold on. Wait, but that was his last shot?
That's his last of the 4 movies he bought.
Okay, well then yes. No. But indeed, he does get my goat. Indeed, he does like rubbing his success in my face. And indeed, I have put it in his, because these are god awful movies. And as soon as Frozen 2 didn't have a single that could match Let It Go, that movie was also dead in the fucking water comparatively. Or at least to where he needed to go. So, yeah, good. I'm glad he had to eat a shit sandwich on Playmobil.
So really, it's a two-man race between Tom Merritt and Brett Roundsville, because Brett's going to get 85% of Rise of Skywalker. Tom lucked out with Joker being the #1 R-rated movie of all time. $332 million so far. I assume there'll be a trickle to come. Dr. Sleep underperformed. Playing with Fire, I don't know how it did compared to expectations. Ford versus Ferrari did fine on the low end. Queen and Slim did whatever. Black Christmas has a chance. Blumhouse is a bit of a high-risk, high-reward operation.
Even for horror? A Christmas time horror?
What's it
number
up
one,
against?
number one, Black Christmas is an amazing original movie. If you've never seen the original Black Christmas, go see that. It is dope. And also, apparently, this movie was so good, they downgraded it from R to PG-13 because they thought it actually had crossover potential.
Wow.
I actually think that it could make a little bit of money, but really, my belief that Tom is going to win is more in the fact that I think that the last Rise of Skywalker is going to underperform.
Oh, no. What's funny is I think Rise of Skywalker will perform, but I also think that Tom will win. But it will be because, well, nobody wants to believe me on this, Cats is going to crush. Cats is going to slay. Cats is going to eviscerate a mouse and eat it right in front of your face. I think it's got all the elements.
Like what?
Like a bunch of old people who have their children held captive and who saw the longest running, most successful Broadway musical of all time and want to share that experience with kids. And thankfully, it's all being portrayed by people their kids have heard of and people at the top of their game.
I mean, I guess really the comp on that would be like Les Mis, right?
No, Les Mis did not have any spectacle to it. Les Mis was a fine and competent retelling of that popular, very depressing story, whereas Cats is nothing but color and sparkle and CG, stuff that will appeal to young people, but also has all of the nostalgia hooks to a bunch of people over 30.
So, I mean, like, Les Mis did 150. Do you think, but where do you think Cats is going to go?
Cats crushes Les Mis. I think Cats is over 200 mil. And then I think Black Christmas is a decent chance of 50 or more. And then that puts Tom Merritt creeping up on 800 million, which means that even if Rise of Skywalker does well, or possibly even, super well, he has a chance to win.
Yeah. I'm with you. I don't know if I bet on Cats quite as hard. I would bet on a Star Wars decline more than I would a Cats overperformance. But I do agree with you. I think that people are going to go see Cats. I think Cats is going to be a thing that people are going to enjoy, including the fact that, like, is it Taylor Swift's first big movie role?
Yes,
like,
and
she sings a song.
Here's the other thing. Cats is the same weekend as Rise of Skywalker. It is the counter programming.
Yeah.
If you want to be like, what do you want to see? Literally anything but Star Wars. I think there are more people like that than people who are like, it must be Star Wars. And there's going to be people who are like, well, I want to see something, but I don't want to wait in lines, so I'm not going to go see Star Wars. I think, I'd give an even money bet on this one.
I think we're not disagreeing. We're just quibbling on how we get there, because I think we both think that Rise of Skywalker at 85%, and what is that? It has how many weeks before the end of the?
That's right. It's also limited because even if it does have a long runway,
It'll have about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
No, more than that. Maybe 8
Yeah,
weeks.
no, it'll have like 7 weeks.
It'll
So
have
it'll make the most of the majority of its gross by then.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey, Bryce, we got a mailbag.
We do. Let's take a little trip into the mailbag.
Join us for drinks in the Diamond Club.
In the Diamond Club. That sounds grand.
Thank God that played. I'm glad this is all still working very well. Thank you, everybody who sends in mail to mail@nightattack.tv, where we read some of your letters, like this one from Klaus. Klaus writes, "Hey, Brian, Justin, Bonnie, and Bryce. I just finished listening to the 300th episode. Congratulations! I first started listening to you guys back in 2011 because we asked people how they found out about the show. I first started listening to you guys back in 2011 when I was in high school on the Twit network as NSFW and found myself cry laughing almost every single episode. I enlisted in the Army shortly after I graduated high school and was stationed in Germany and fell out of touch and wasn't able to watch live or have the time due to training. After coming back to the States in 2016, I realized that you guys had started Night Attack. I've been catching the podcast this whole past year on the audio feed due to my new work hours and haven't been able to watch live, unfortunately, but every Wednesday night I catch the new episode on my long commute home in NYC traffic, and I die laughing every episode. Keep up the great work, and thank you guys for the great laughs. Keep on keeping on. Sincerely, Klaus. Thank you, Klaus.
Dude, I love hearing that kind of stuff. It makes me realize, and you've heard me say versions of this before, but it's like, it's a real friendship. And I felt this a lot because one of my favorite podcasts, Harmontown, came to an end. And I'm sure there'll be some new iteration with it with many of my favorite characters. But every time we do our dance, I try to put everything out there because I recognize that there is a very real, just highly asymmetrical, largely one-way friendship that we're having. And in many cases, it gets to become a two-way friendship when we meet in person or if we exchange emails, or certainly it's a lot easier for the patrons to keep that two-way street going. But it's no less real. And it really matters to me to hear those kind of stories, to know that we're able to affect someone in the way that I know I'm affected by many podcasts that I follow and listen to.
Ditto. I mean,
well, that leads us into another letter here, unless you got something, just.
Go.
This is from Jason. Jason writes, "Hey guys, you were talking last week about how Brian would follow a lot of people on Twitter, and I'd agree that that's a fantastic thing. It made me wonder, however, how does it feel that strangers sort of feel like we're friends, even though we've never met or really talked more than, say, a tweet or two? For example, you might say something on Twitter, and some jackass like me will respond, like how you almost burned your house down when you were 12, personal stuff, giving personal answers to broad, messages. We talk to you like we've been friends forever, because for 3+ hours a week and more, we hear you go on and on about your lives, and it's a bit of a one-sided friendship that you don't get a personal side of ours. So the real question, does it ever feel strange that so many people feel that they have a personal connection with you that they don't have an actual personal connection with?" Jason. Thank you, Jason.
I have thoughts on this, but I don't want to step on your toes. If you've got a take, Justin.
It's odd. It is something that I, in our modern era, I think that we are the pioneers of understanding what will eventually be codified and put into our society as something a little bit more understandable. But part of that is definitely the idea that I know that I feel like I know everybody that I listen to on the internet in a certain way. And yet then sometimes I also find myself on the other end of it as somebody who produces content, that I'm reading something on the internet and I'm like, no, fuck you. You don't get to talk to me like that. So it is weird. But in general, the one thing that from my perspective, you always need to understand is, no matter how frustrating in the moment you might find it, everybody is offering, if they are interacting, they are they care. They know you. They want your content to be good and continue to be good and then be better after that. And if that's the case, then that's all you can ever want, because you got to really worry about it if people stop responding to you. But that being said, yeah, it is odd. And I can only hope that that the next generation after this and the next generation after this at least understands how odd it is, because that is the one thing that I think is something I hope we grow out of, is that from both ends, either somebody who only knows you a little bit, like understands a little bit more, like, hey, just because we seem to be best friends because of this one-way conversation doesn't necessarily mean that you have access to all the best friend tools. But then on the other hand, from the creator perspective, to understand that, hey, look, this is just a thing that happens.
Yeah, man, bunch of different threads. I will say the moments that are weird are when somebody tweets, emails, all that stuff. It's so easy to have stuff be misinterpreted. You make a casual joke or try to say something jokingly, sarcastically, and it gets taken the wrong way or whatever. I will say that a good way to sort of indicate that you're in our tribe, that you're one of us, is I know that I treat tweets and emails differently when they have diamond symbols in there, because I know that like that's our gang sign, and that's that you, if you found your way to this very dense, tiny heart of our collective operations, then there's a certain level of trust. And even if what you're saying sounds like you're making fun of me, I can extend some credit or whatever. But on the flip side, Justin's 100% right, where the other time that it's weird is when people interact with either of us because they spend the majority of their time hearing Justin and I give each other sass. That all comes from a place of, 12 years of developing a friendship and making jokes together and earning the right to poke and jab and tickle each other in socially inappropriate ways. But when, and I find this weirdly, hopefully this won't sound like I'm starting a thing, but it's like when I'm at the Wizard Academy and I'm hanging out at the Crowded Barrel Distillery, we've got a lot of fans, shared fans in the whiskey tribe, and the majority of their time that they've seen me have been watching Rex and Daniel give me sass on their show. And as you know, that's fun and funny because we're all friends and we've all earned it and we know what makes for good storytelling or whatever. And many fans, not knowing what to say, unintentionally just say the worst things, not realizing what they're saying. I got an email from a fan who just out of nowhere was like back and forth, pleasant. And then he concludes with like, anyway, see you later, fatty. And I was just like, I was like, well, that's an email I'll never, let me set up a little rule on the Gmail and I'll never hear from that person again, because it's very weird to understand. I mean,
well,
it's remember
tough.
the asymmetry.
Yeah. It's tough because there's for us, right? Like the show happens in real time and we don't think too much about it the next day. And so stuff like that, we have a built-in, there automatically time will progress away from us for that, whatever that joke is, whatever that bit is, just as long as if we don't bring it up again. Where, if you're listening to the podcast, it was a great bit, you clip it out, you save, you star that episode and you listen to it again. The time, just the relationship to time can be different. And so stuff like that, whether it's, the fat, the whatever. Like,
and of course, that's the thing.
The biggest thing to me is the intimacy. Mm-hmm. And again, it is hard for us to draw boundaries on it because it's literally the reason why we have a job.
And plus also keep in mind, part of the value is we value our raw honesty, but it's a two-way street. It's we trust you enough to hear the truth, which is why we tell the truth, because we don't want the world to hold anything over us. But then when somebody uses that as a weapon, now in the best of circumstances, you could chalk it up to social awkwardness and people just don't know what they're doing. Like there was a case and I don't know if this person is listening. If so, know that all is forgiven. But I had just gotten done talking about a 4-day miserable event that I had done, and I was fully in state. And I turned the corner, and somebody recognized my voice and turned around and said, "Whoa, somebody famous!" And then immediately corrected himself, saying like, "Well, I mean, kind of famous." And in that moment, I knew I couldn't trust my physical body to be in that place at that time, and I just said, "Wrong time to neg me," and I walked out of the room. Because it was.
And again,
that was uncool. Hey, that shit was uncool.
But I think it came from genuine confusion.
Beyond that, it is unknowable. It's unknowable from the audience to know where our state is.
Yeah.
It's unknowable from us to know what's coming from the sky. And the only thing that we can be thankful for is that something's coming from the sky, be they compliments or views or downloads or money or accolades, right? That's why we're in the business. It's why we're doing this rain dance. Every once in a while, you're going to get a pebble. And if the one thing that we can say, if we are being honest, is that, man, do we not like having pebbles fall into our eyeball, because that does suck. And that's what Brian's describing, where, like, you know, there's no way for somebody to know that that's the moment where they shouldn't call you kind of famous.
Well, and to be clear, like, after the fact, it's you reconstruct, and I'm like, I'll bet anything what happened was, he had a genuine reaction. Oh my God, it's a celebrity. Oh my God, I'm overly fanboying. Let me dial it back enough. Not realizing that it came out saying, like, oh wait, let me say, you're so pretty. I like the way your teeth are crooked. It was just an unfortunate moment in there. But the truly unfortunate moments are, the side effect of because all we do is show our bellies for 11 years straight, then to have anybody stab at it makes it extraordinarily painful. And but again, that's the price we pay, because we've enjoyed and continue to enjoy a hell of a ride and a growth trajectory that I don't think either of us ever dared dream of. And the only price is that the ledger remained the same. We owe you guys everything and you owe us nothing. So, if you want to pull out the knives, we ain't going to fight you.
Well, again, and I the only way to make this sound bad is if we make it sound like they meant to pull out knives. What you meant to pull out are flowers. Unfortunately, those flowers are very sharp and they pierced our skin. And we know that. I think that we always do, intellectually. Emotionally, sometimes there is a different reaction. And again, that is something that I don't think will really, I mean, that is on one level, that's fame, right? And we are just experiencing a lower grade version of it, which, like, has always given me a different perspective about other far more famous people.
I'm so glad you're putting it in that perspective, because a wise man once said, oh, it's a celebrity. Oh, I mean, kind of celebrity.
All right. I think our treaties on getting butthurt online is...
I guess my point is I think that the internet is the great democratizer. The internet gives everybody the ability to be heard by many, 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 many people. The idea of a celebrity is far different today than it was when I was born. And I think the understanding and the humanity of what happens, not for a famous person, but just for somebody on the other end of the screen, will continue to evolve. And I hope that that's a part that evolves with it.
There we go. Thank you, Jason, for the letter. If you've got a letter that you'd like us to read and respond to, mail at nightattack.tv, mail at nightattack.tv. We'll read it here at the mailbag, which is the portion at the end of the show, which is what this is. Which is the end of the show. Bye.
Holy cow, man! Long episode. We were longer, stronger, harder. We were like a werewolf with a vampire on the other end, with a mummy watching.
Dude, as sure as somebody getting pegged while playing Super Mario, we were just everlasting.
I think it was Albert Einstein that said, baby,
Hey, Brian, what have we learned today?
We learned that you guys are the best people on the planet, and that I think I always knew that Bryce was working for the Empire. It just didn't really click until we saw him operating the Death Star controls.
We learned that Bonnie has a thing for Ricky Ricardo.
We also learned that I'm pretty sure I'm going to become a Cuban citizen.
We learned that you got to move your scooter to the end of the block.
But most importantly, we learned that we love you guys. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you to the patrons for continuing to grow the show. It's so exciting. We love you guys. Do us a favor, man. Die in a fire, but not really.
See you next Tuesday. And our bit boss is your man, Jeff. Thank you so much. Hey, by the way, you just learned that I'm going to be live in studio next week and for the next 3 weeks because we're banking episodes.
Also, Mike TV, give us a call.
I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.